Ladies and gentlemen, I am Radio Hazbin. Today we are doing a completely different video, so hence why you didn't see no intro for this one. And yes, this is a rather Civ Alpha-like approach to the actual theme itself. Earlier this month, obviously, that it has been announced for A24 and of course from Vivian that obviously that Hazbin Hotel has recently been bought. We are going to go over the brief history of the company, about animation contracts, and what benefits and hindrances it actually may incur to the Hazbin Hotel's future. This video was suggested by someone who is a friend of Vivian Madrano, who had communications with them about up to 4 years ago, and is planning to reconnect with them soon. And more likely, I will be talking to Vivzy in person down the line. Now, let's just discuss about A24. A24 obviously was founded on August 20th, 2012 by Daniel Katz, David Funkel, and John Hodges in New York City. You probably never ever heard of A24, but they have brought the films called Moonlight and It Comes the Night, as told by Barry Jenkins, Sofia Coppola, James Franco, and Robert Pattinson, along with the other feature film known as Ex Machina. Of course, with this 8-year-old company, they have a lot of gusto, especially when pushing obviously into the Hollywood business, pushing into the movie industry itself, of how they promoted one of their TV series called The Witches, which of course is not widely accepted, especially in this modern era of technology, with people having much more thinner skin than normal. But it's the way that how it was promoted definitely gave the shock value and definitely enticed to watch. How does WAP affect Hazbin Hotel? We will then get into the terms of a contract. Obviously, since Hazbin Hotel is an actual animation, I couldn't find anything in terms of an animation contract, but Repzilla, because I watched him recently, has given me a site known as Parcel Law, which I will link down in the description. I'll link down all my sources, to about reality TV show contracts. Since obviously it's more likely going to be on a streaming service, I would probably more likely would say Netflix rather than HBO, Apple Plus, etc., due to the mature content. More likely, obviously, with these kinds of businesses, they will try and get you to sign a contract. By the looks of Vivian, considering from her first Instagram post, which is more likely a notification that A24 was more likely interested, up until the announcement of the actual contract itself, which was, of course, well, little over a month. These contracts are all written in favor for Hazbin Hotel and the producers being A24 during this time. But always do keep in mind that that Vivian was only given just a first offer. We don't know exactly where she is in the contract stage, but she may have had some leverage, hence why there was a delay in the announcement. So I can rightfully say within that over a month and a bit, she more likely will know what the contract is and negotiated for a better treatment, not only for herself, but also for the staff of Spindlehorse, and of course for Hazbin. Since, of course, A24 does have a studio/office in Los Angeles, and of course that is where Vivian currently resides. And if any disputes that Vivian may bring up will have to be upheld in Californian court. And normally, if she wants to try and get out of a bad deal, she will have to look for any clauses that help make the contract null and void. As California court normally sides with the show and the producers being, of course, being A24, when it comes to upholding the contract. So in terms of that, unless she finds a clause, she will lose, in a sense. course, on the parcel law side, obviously there are going to be certain things that we are going to basically roll out, being of course life story rights and the right to the fame, since obviously they are part of the reality TV show scene rather than the animation scene. So we will be looking at a termination clause, release of liability, hold period, and royalties on future earnings. But it seems more like Vivian has already known about the clauses. She's more likely spoken with a lawyer of this kind of caliber because this is an entertainment lawyer. It's more like she's already aware of a termination clause to understand what is going to be happening if things do go bad between her and A24. Whether or not A24 meets up to standard or Vivian meets up to their standards. Again, this is always a two-way street. Second is release of a liability to understand that what Vivian is promising is to not sue them. If she was not comfortable with the release, which of course is the announcement on their Twitter, then it would have been time to negotiate, which more likely she probably has done for a little over a month. Thirdly is the hold period, which of course for the animation process is a lot more different. Once, of course, the episodes start to be animated, Vivian will more likely will need permission from the producers before she can appear on any other show. Again, she probably more likely probably negotiated this so that way she can appear on like other interviews, exactly like the one she's about to do on Zoom on the 2nd of September at midnight here, which will be on the 3rd. Why, Vivian? Why? This could also mean that it also more like it will conflict to whatever A24 is going to suggest for Hazbin to go on in the streaming platform circuit, which will probably more likely be Netflix. It may also contradict about YouTube, but more likely probably Vivian has negotiated this, but I do not know the terms of the contract that she had made. Now we get to the nitty-gritty stuff, royalties on future earnings. The producers, being of course A24, will try and claim a percentage of all future earnings outside of the show for a period of time. This may clash with, of course, with Shark Robot, because obviously that's going towards the actual staff at Splinter Horse, and of course the production of Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss. Of course, Hell of a Boss is not part of the actual label itself. This also may clash with Vivian's Patreon, as it also goes to the funds for the actual animation itself. But again, I do not know the percentage of the future earnings that A24 is going to be making on these products. Again, that is what Vivian knows rather than me. And of course, the time period, more likely this has all probably been negotiated. But again, I do not know the terms of the contract. But that is probably more likely the benefits and the hindrances, of course, with this contract, unless Vivian says otherwise. If you do like this video, make sure you like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit all rather than occasion, because sometimes the streaming ones do not tend to go through. Of course, there are my Streamlabs, and of course, many of my various Discord links that will be linked down below. Thank you very much for watching. This video has been tuning out for now.
If I wanted to hurt anyone here, I would have done so already.